heat transfer, which is radiative heat transfer, or tinatawag natin na radiation. So aside from conduction, which is the heat transfer between solid gases and solid liquids and gases, and convection, which is the transfer of heat from a moving fluid papunta sa solid natin. Now, radiative heat transfer naman, or radiation na tinatawag natin. This is an energy or a heat transfer in the form of electromagnetic waves. So unlike conduction and convection na merong medium, dito sa radiation, walang intervening medium tayo. So this is a result of the changes in the electronic configurations of the atoms or molecules. So itong radiation, unlike conduction and convection, this occurs the fastest. Yung heat transfer natin dito is very fast, as you can experience naman with our sun on how the energy from our sun reaches the earth. So itong radiation, as compared din kay conduction and convection, um, hindi tayo nagbe-base sa thermal conductivity na meron ng material natin, since dito ay ibang property yung kino-consider natin. At the same time, walang intervening medium pagdating sa radiation natin. So let us focus dun sa term na electromagnetic waves or photons na tinatawag. When we say electromagnetic waves or photons na tinatawag, ito yung iba't ibang radiation type na I believe you are already familiar na naman, which are the following, or which is shown to you here in our presentation. Meron tayong radio waves, microwaves, or microwave radiation, infrared radiation, visible radiation, ultraviolet radiation, X-ray radiation, and gamma ray radiation. So the difference between this type of radiations is the length of their wavelengths na tinatawag. So syempre, hindi natin concern dito sa radiation yung hindi naman natin na-experience. So ang tawag natin sa radiation na ating pinag-aaralan dito sa heat transfer is yung tinatawag na thermal radiation. Itong thermal radiation na to, this is a form of radiation which is emitted by bodies because of their temperature. Pag sinabi nating body, hindi siya mismong katawan ng tao ha. Pag sinabi nating body, mga objects yung pinag-uusapan natin dito. Ano? So because may temperature yung isang body, nagre-radiate siya ng heat which is being transferred from one body to another, or from one surface to another. Since ang kaibahan nitong thermal radiation dito sa ibang types ng radiation na present dito is that yung thermal radiation kasi natin is related to temperature. Eh, sabi nga natin sa heat transfer, the driving force of the transfer of energy here is our temperature. So dito, tatandaan ninyo, lahat ng body or lahat ng object na merong temperature above absolute zero, yun ay nag-e-emit ng tinatawag natin na thermal radiation. Kaya we are concerned with different bodies na merong temperature or may tawag dyan, may temperature sa kanilang property. So another concept that you need to know about radiation is that this is a volumetric phenomenon. When we say volumetric phenomenon, this process occurs throughout the medium. So hindi lamang siya subjected lamang dun sa surface, yung buong object natin, yung doon nangyayari yung radiation na tinatawag. So itong radiation occurs in all solids, liquids, and gases. Since they emit, they absorb, or they transmit radiation to varying degrees. So mamaya, during our discussion of kung paano natin makocompute yung um, radiative heat transfer na tinatawag, iba't iba yung ways ng pag-emit ng mga bodies natin. Depende sa kanilang shape, sa kanilang sa material ng surface natin or kung ano meron dun sa surface natin. Now, how does radiation happen? So let me give you a very short example or very short mechanism on how radiant heat transfer is occurring from one body to another. So una, syempre, yung ating hot source or yung isang body natin is nagko-contain ng thermal energy na tinatawag. Kasi for example, yung furnace natin, siguro naman familiar na kayo dun sa equipment na furnace na tinatawag. So yung furnace natin, imagine yung walls ng furnace natin is at a certain temperature. Yung temperature na ito or yung thermal energy na ini-emit nitong temperature na ito is being converted into energy of electromagnetic radiation waves. So after being converted to electromagnetic radiation waves, these waves travel through an intervening space. Na yung intervening space is different from what we call an intervening medium. Pag sinabi natin intervening space is just simply the space in between one surface to another or in between two bodies na tinatawag. Now, these waves, once again, travel through a straight line and strike let's say for example, a cold object at T2. So meron tayong hot source ng may source of heat tayo which is yung wall of furnace natin na mayroong temperature, let's say T1, na nako-convert yung energy, yung thermal energy na nasa walls ng furnace natin into electromagnetic radiation waves, and these waves travel through a straight line, striking a cold object at a certain temperature uh, at a certain temperature such as T2. For example, dun sa furnace natin, meron tayong tube na nagko-contain ng water na iinitin natin. So yung water natin is at a temperature which is T2 nga. Dito nag-strike yung radiation waves na ini-emit ng furnace natin. Now, itong waves na ito, upon striking the body of another object, this energy is being absorbed by the body and is converted back to thermal energy or heat. Now, very basic lang naman yun example ng heat transfer natin from from the walls of a furnace towards the surface of the body or throughout our second body na tinatawag. Now, tatandaan ninyo na when different surfaces are heated at the same temperature or to the same temperature, they do not all emit they do not all emit or absorb the same amount of thermal radiant energy. This pertains dun sa properties ng iba't ibang materials na meron tayo on whether how effective they are on absorbing energy or um, absorbing energy or emitting the energies na na-absorb nila. So you can do a very short experiment on that by comparing different types of materials such as, for example, a wood, a wood, a metal, a plastic. You can try exposing it under our sun, and then you can you can feel the temperature on the surface of those objects at different time. Mapapansin nyo na iba't iba yung ini-emit nilang init based on the feeling na based on your sense of touch basically. So, paano natin malalaman yung um, na-absorb na energy natin sa mga surfaces na meron tayo? So, dito papasok yung isang body na tinatawag na black body, which is a reference point kung paano natin mako-compute or paano natin malalaman yung absorptivity and emissivity ng isang object natin. Kasi syempre, iba't iba yung materials natin, may iba't ibang properties yung mga materials na yun. So dito papasok yung bagong property natin na tinatawag na emissivity and absorptivity. So kung sa conduction, merong thermal conductivity. Sa convection, may heat transfer coefficient. Dito, meron tayong tinatawag naman na emissivity nung object natin. So, itong black body, ito yung reference point natin kung paano mame-measure yung different emissivities na meron ng ating um, mga bodies or yung ating mga objects na tinatawag. Now, a body that absorbs and emits the maximum amount of energy at a given temperature is called a black body. Itong black body na ito has a value of ang value ng emissivity nito, since ito nga ang ating reference point or ito nga ang tinatawag natin na baseline, ang emissivity niya ay equal to 1. So sa Paris ninyo actually, if you proceed to chapter 5, meron kayo doon makikita na table for the different emissivities na meron ang ating mga objects. So when energy strikes that surface, ano ba yung ano ba yung fraction ng energy yung naa-absorb at nai-emit nung bodies natin? Now here is another concept that you need to know under um, under radiation or under radiative heat transfer, which is yung Planck's law na tinatawag. Dito, sinasabi na, or rather, in summary, ina-explain nito yung energy or kina-quantify nito yung energy na nai-emit ng isang black body per unit area. So, nakalagay dito, when a black body is heated to a temperature T, photons or electromagnetic waves are emitted from the surface which have a definite distribution of energy. Na itong definite distribution of energy na ito nga, once again, can be quantified using Planck's equation. So meron tayo ditong E sub B lambda, which is equals to 3.7418 times 10 raised to negative 16 all over lambda raised to the fifth power times e raised to 1.4388 times 10 raised to negative 2 all over lambda t, na yung e na function natin is ima-minus pa natin sa 1. So that is the whole equation for Planck's law. Now, itong Planck's law na ito naman is hindi natin masyadong, or rather, itong equation na ito is hindi natin gagamitin kasi may mas simplified version tayo ng pag-quantify natin ng energy, pag-quantify ng atin ng energy through radiation. Ano? So, ang ibig sabihin nitong E sub B lambda, this is the monochromatic emissive power in watts per cubic meter. So, di ba sabi ko sa inyo, radiation is a volumetric phenomenon. So, itong monochromatic emissive power, this is the rate of energy emission per unit area at a particular wavelength. At a particular, per unit volume pala, sorry. At a particular wavelength. Now, to better understand Planck's law, ito kasing sinasabi nitong Planck's law of radiation is gaano karaming energy na yung ini-emit ng object natin if we are considering different wavelengths and again depending on our temperature since naka-base ang Planck's equation sa temperature natin. So for example, hot objects, alam naman natin na hot objects emit more energy. And this energy is spread across a range of wavelengths or a set of colors, kumbaga. Kasi you can identify kasi yung color ng isang object based on its wavelength, diga. So, for example, yung sun natin, diga, yung light na nanggagaling sa sun natin is being transmitted here sa Earth, which reflects yung or which absorbs yung objects natin which absorbs this light and reflects yung colors na nakikita natin. So, because of this Planck's law of radiation, we can also say that the hotter an object gets, the more energy it emits at shorter wavelengths. And for cooler objects naman, this emit more energy at longer wavelengths din. Sa madaling sabi, ang energy natin is different across different wavelengths. And itong Planck's law na ito of radiation helps us explain bakit ang mga objects natin ay nag-glow in different colors depending on the temperature. 'Di ba? Kung mapapansin niyo din, Hindi ko alam kung nakita niyo na yung picture na nagkalat sa mga social media or even sa internet, basta sa internet, yung iba't ibang absorptivity ng damit based on the color of our shirt. Siguro napansin or nakakita na kayo ng gano'ng example or gano'ng picture online ano. So yun. Now, sabi ko nga, yung mas simplified version ang ating gagamitin nitong Planck's law. Kasi um, upon the discovery nitong si Stefan at saka si Boltzmann, which is yung tinatawag natin na Stefan Boltzmann law, ito yung simplified version ng radiation natin emitted from a surface at an absolute temperature. So ito yung gagamitin natin for tawag dyan, gagamitin natin for solving radiation heat transfer problems. Now, itong formula ng Stefan Boltzmann law na ito, itong mismo nakapresent sa slide ninyo, this is good for a black body. Kasi sabi nga natin, ang radiative heat transfer ng isang body is nakadepende sa kanyang emissivity. Nasan yung emissivity dito? Wala kayong makikitang emissivity dito kasi this formula is for a black body na merong emissivity na 1. So since 1 lamang yung kanyang emissivity, syempre invisible na sa equation natin yung i-multiply natin sa 1. So this formula is used to quantify naman the rate of radiation for a black body. So we have here Q is equals to sigma times the area times the temperature. So makikita nyo naman dyan yung meaning ng bawat subscript. So yung A sub S is the heat transfer area at yung surface na tatamaan. Ts is the surface temperature. And yung sigma natin, that is what we call the Stefan Boltzmann constant, which has an exact value of 5.67 times 10 raised to negative 8 watts per meter square Kelvin raised to the fourth power. So itong Stefan Boltzmann constant naman, kung hindi nyo matandaan, kung hindi nyo recall, meron naman kayo sa Paris niyan or you can use your calculators. Meron diyang constant for the Stefan Boltzmann constant. Ano po? Now, another concept naman na you have to understand under radiation again is itong emissivity na property. Kasi kanina pa akong emissivity dito pero baka naman hindi nyo naiintindihan ano yung ibig sabihin ng word na emissivity. Now, emissivity has a symbol of epsilon. Yan. So the property emissivity is a measure of the effectiveness of a material in emitting thermal radiation. Kasi di naman nga lahat ng material ay pare-pares yung pare-parehas ang nai-emit na heat. So itong emissivity na ito yung um, nag naghihinder kumbaga, nagre-resist sa heat transfer natin pagdating sa radiation. So ang value na meron tayo dito is from the range of 0 to 1. And syempre, sa paglapit ng emissivity natin sa value na 1, sa um, sa pag-approximate natin dun sa material na yun, nakagaya ng isa siyang black body. So, yun po yung sinasabi natin na emissivity. So, paano natin naman siya gagamitin dun sa Stefan Boltzmann law? You just have to simply i-place yung variable na emissivity sa tabi ng ating formulas ng Stefan Boltzmann constant sa area at sa temperature natin. So, ito naman yung formula na ginagamit natin if ang object natin or if ang body natin is not considered a black body. Kasi nga, ang kanyang emissivity is different. Ano po? Next naman, na concept na kailangan yung malaman is yung tinatawag na absorptivity. So, meron tayong emissivity, which is a measure of how effective a material or an object emits thermal radiation. Ang absorptivity naman po is a measure of how well a material absorbs incident thermal radiation. You can think of incident thermal radiation as just simply thermal radiation. Ginamitan lang natin na term na incident kasi may angles involved. Siyempre, kapag ka i-emit kapag ka nag-absorb yung body natin ng heat from a heat source. So, like emissivity, its values ranges from 0 to 1. And yun nga, um, this is a fraction of radiation that is absorbed by the surface. So, ano naman po ang meron kay absorptivity at ano naman po meron kay emissivity? Bakit po walang absorptivity dun sa um, formula natin if we are to consider yung radiative heat transfer? Kasi nag-absorb po ng material, di ka? At nag-emit yung material, nag-emit din naman yung mga bodies natin. So, dito papasok yung tinatawag natin na Kirchhoff's law of radiation. So, itong si Kirchhoff's law of radiation, this law states that at thermal equilibrium, absorptivity and emissivity of a body are equal. So, kaya po, kung mapapansin nyo sa equation natin, emissivity lang yung ating pinag-uusapan. Kasi nga, because of this law na Kirchhoff's law of radiation, we can assume na ang ating absorptivity is equal sa emissivity natin. Kasi 'di ba, ang purpose naman ng body na nag-absorb ng heat is para ma-reach niya yung temperature nung um, source na nag-emit ng heat natin. Let's say for example, may object 1 tayo and object 2. Sa object 1, siya ay nag-emit um, nag-emit ng energy at a certain temperature of 1,000. And si object 2 ay ang kanyang temperature is nasa 500 yung magnitude. So syempre, ang goal ng heat transfer natin is to transfer the energy from a hotter place to a colder place. So ang tendency is that si object 2 natin yung mag-absorb ng heat from object 1, di ka? So since tawag dyan, ang goal ni object 2 is ma-reach din yung temperature na meron si object 1, we can assume na they are in thermal equilibrium with one another. So kaya masasabi natin na ang absorptivity at ang emissivity ng isang body ay equal. Now, we can we can still quantify the um, absorbed energy using this equation na hindi rin naman madalas ginagamit. Just to show you lang ano, kung paano natin naka-quantify ang absorbed heat using the absorptivity of a material. So dito, we multiply the value of absorptivity with the heat na nanggagaling doon sa or with doon sa heat na nanggagaling doon sa um, isang source natin. Again, kaya siya tinawag na incident is at a certain angle siya. Yung direction ng ating heat with respect to the surface natin. So para mas ma-visualize ninyo ng maayos kung paano ba ito na kukuha or nagagawa. Take a look at this diagram. Ayan ano. So the absorption of radiation incident on an opaque surface of absorptivity alpha is given to you by this diagram. So hindi lahat ng energy from hindi lahat ng energy na na-absorb hindi lahat ng energy na gagaling sa isang heat source ay na-absorb ni surface natin. Some of it is being emitted, which is denoted by the Q-ref, which is Q reflected. Ibig sabihin niya. Pero we can use Q emitted doon. And since yun nga, equal ang absorptivity and ang emissivity under thermal equilibrium, according to Kirchhoff's law of radiation, syempre kung ano yung ina-absorb ng material, yun din yung ini-emit niyang init. Ano po? So, another way of explaining then, or to better understand din itong Kirchhoff's law of radiation, sa madaling sabi, ang application nitong Kirchhoff's law of radiation is that yung good absorbers of energy are also good emitters of energy. So kung yung isang object natin is magaling mag-absorb ng energy, magaling din siyang mag-emit ng energy. Next naman is, 'pag poor absorber naman siya, poor din siyang mag-emit ng energy. So if something absorbs a lot of heat, it will also emit a lot of heat, ano, and itong balance between absorption and emission is an important concept na kailangan ninyong maintindihan on how objects exchange heat with our surroundings. So, yan. Sabi dito, in general, the determination of the net rate of heat transfer by radiation between two surfaces is a complicated matter since it depends on the properties of the surfaces, their orientation relative to each other, and the interaction of the medium between the surfaces with radiation. So yung orientation na part will be discussed later. Yung properties of the surfaces, it pertains nga once again dun sa emissivities and emissivities or absorptivities ng material natin. And yung interaction naman na sinasabi dito ng medium between the surface is sometimes kasi yung surfaces natin ay magkaharapan ba, magkatabi ba yung surface natin, yung kumbaga sila ba ay parallel, perpendicular, etc. etc. But ang more on ng focus natin dito mamaya is yung orientation ng surfaces natin. So dito, to give you a general formula for the net rate of heat transfer between one surface to another is by using this formula. So kanina kasi yung ini-emit lang ng isang body yung kina-quantify natin ng heat transfer. But if we are to quantify the heat transfer via radiation from one surface to another, medyo ano natin, i mo-modify lang natin ng konti yung temperature na meron tayo. Since, yun nga, dalawang surface na yung pinag-uusapan natin dito. So meron tayong surface temperature and T subs SURR is the surrounding temperature na tinatawag, which is just simply yung temperature nung surface, yung second surface natin na meron tayo. So for example, yung object 1 is nasa loob ng object 2. So yung object 1 nag-emit ng energy, si object 2 naman either nag-emit din siya ng mas mataas na energy or siya yung nag-absorb ng energy natin. Ito yung general formula ng heat transfer, radiative heat transfer from one surface to another. Now, yan. Next. Since meron tayong dalawang temperature na pinag-uusapan dito, paano natin makukuha or aling emissivity or at what temperature yung property na emissivity? Saan natin kukunin yung emissivity na temperature? So nakalagay dito na in actual systems of different temperatures, the emissivity to be used is evaluated by determining the emissivity not at the actual surface temperature, but at the temperature of the source of the other radiating surface, since this is the temperature the observing surface would reach if the absorber and the emitter were at thermal equilibrium. So, balik tayo kay object 1 at kay object 2. Let's say for example, magkaibang object sa object 1 at sa object 2. Sa object 1, again, 1,000 Kelvin ang kanyang temperature. Sa object 2 is 500 Kelvin. So, syempre, may emissivities si object 2 natin at this temperature na 500 Kelvin at a temperature of 1,000 Kelvin. So, ang gagamitin nating emissivity doon is the emissivity of the object 2 at 1,000 Kelvin. Since yun nga yung temperature na gustong ma-reach ni object 2 natin since mas mababa yung kanyang temperature. This concept or this principle is applied pagdating natin do sa problem solving natin. Kasi sometimes ganun yung binibigay na problem sa inyo. Kaya dito. So, makikita nyo dyan or mapapansin nyo dyan na yung metal tube natin is merong emissivity at 1088 Kelvin and meron din siyang emissivity at 588 Kelvin. So, alin dyan yung emissivity na gagamitin ninyo? So, ang gagamitin nyo lang naman dito na formula sa problem na to, is this one. Yeah, this one. To compute for the radiation to the metal tube from a furnace, from a very large furnace. Okay, so moving on naman, since sabi ko nga sa inyo, ang determination ng net rate of heat transfer natin is a complicated matter. So para um, pag-aralan naman natin ngayon yung orientation na part ng ating radiative heat transfer. Kasi syempre, hindi naman palaging tawag dyan, hindi palaging parallel yung surfaces natin. Hindi rin naman parehas yung area na meron yung ating surfaces. So let us discuss naman yung tinatawag na view factor. So as you can see here in the diagram, the radiation heat exchange between the surface of three objects from a source of heat or from a point source is dependent on its orientation, which is accounted for by its view factor na tinatawag. So para mas madali ninyong maintindihan yung orientation na part, let's say for example, may campfire. Siyempre, isipin ninyo gabi, malamig. Siyempre, para hindi tayo lamigin, siyempre, lalapit tayo sa campfire, di ka sa source ng apoy. Siyempre, mas gusto natin, mas malapit tayo dun sa source ng heat kesa sa mas malayo, di ka? Kasi yung heat transfer, yung via radiation naman from the fire, pupunta sa ating katawan, is not possible if malayo yung distance natin. Another thing that you have to take note is, syempre, mas gusto natin na ang orientation ng katawan natin is nakaharap yung mas malaking area ng katawan natin doon sa apoy kaysa sa nakatagilid tayo. Kasi pag nakatagilid tayo, mas maliit yung area na pagta-transferan nung heat galing doon sa apoy. Yung gilid lamang, di ka? Yung gilid lang kung kayo nakatagilid. Whereas kung nakaharap yung katawan mo mismo doon sa apoy, mas malaki yung heat transfer na mas malaki yung heat na makukuha mo doon sa apoy. So, another example din is, syempre, bawa lang sa ibang bansa, yung mga taong nagsasunbathing. So, hindi naman sila nakatagilid pag nagsasunbathing sila. Sila ay nakaharap sa mismong source ng init, which is the sun natin. So, may effect ang orientation ng surfaces natin when it comes to radiative heat transfer. And this is accounted for, once again, by what we call the view factor. Ang symbol ng view factor natin is si F sub ij. Itong ij is just simply surface I and surface J natin. But if we are to number it, meron tayong 1 to 2, meaning from surface 1 to surface 2. Po? So view factor is a purely geometric quantity and is a parameter used to account for the effects of orientation on radiation heat transfer. So this is independent of surface properties and temperature. So yung kanina, di ka, yung emissivity at saka yung absorptivity na tinatawag natin is nakadepende sa properties na meron yung material natin at the same time sa temperature ng material natin. But this view factor na tinatawag is hindi nakadepende doon sa emissivity ng ating object. unless siya ay black body. Tama ba? Black body nga ba? Teka, wait lang. Erase muna yun ng konti. Hindi pa siya nakadepende sa black body. Basta think of it as itong view factor is an independent parameter used to tawag dyan, used to account for the effects ng orientation pagdating sa radiation heat transfer. So, once again, ang ibig sabihin ni F sub ij is the view factor from surface I to surface J. So, paano ba natin makukuha or makuquantify si view factor? So, papasok dito yung tinatawag natin na reciprocity relation. So, this reciprocity relation, this allows the calculation of a view factor from a knowledge of the other. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin, you can know the view factor of one surface to another using this relationship. So let's say, for example, may dalawa tayong surface. Si surface 1 at saka si surface 2. So if you wanted to know the view factor from surface 1 to 2, that is F sub 1, 2. And if you want to know the view factor from surface 2 to 1, that is F sub 2, 1. So A1 and A2 naman, these are just the areas of our surface. So ito yung reciprocity relation ang ginagamit natin para ma-quantify yung view factors natin. Now, may ilang mga conditions tayo na kailangan sundin when it comes to this reciprocity relation. So, number 1, if surface A1 can only see A2, ibig sabihin nun guys, walang nakaharang in between doon sa dalawang surface natin. Walang nasa gitna nilang dalawa. Talagang magkaharapan lamang si surface 1, si surface 2 natin. Then, F sub 1, 2 is equals to 0. Yun yung isa. The next thing naman that you have to know is that if surface A1 sees a number of surfaces, si A2, si A3, si A4, for example, and all surfaces form an enclosure, then the enclosure relationship is F1 to 1 plus F1 to 2 plus F1 to 3 and so on should all be equal to 1.0. So let's say for example, ang enclosure ninyo, ang shape niya ay triangle. 'Di ba? Sa triangle, meron kang tatlong surface doon. Yung dalawang side at saka yung base, 'di ka? So para malaman mo ang view factor ni 1 to 2 and ni 1 to 3, kinakailangang alam niyo yung relationship na ito. Pag sinabi nating F1 to 1, that is the view factor from surface 1 to itself, which is kadalasan naman si F1 to 1 ay 0, which is yun nga na doon sa sunod. Kita nyo naman doon sa sunod. And yun, so mako-quantify or mako-compute natin yung view factors from one surface to another using this second condition. And yung last condition naman natin, if surface A1 or surface 1 cannot see itself, like for example, the surface is flat or convex, F sub 1, 1 is equal to 0. So kapag ka naman concave, kasi kapag concave yung surface natin, ano ba pagka sinabi natin concave? Pag concave, paano ba? Parang U yung shape ng ating surface. By U. Yun yung concave na tinatawag. Ang value ng ating F sub 1, 1 is greater than 0. At syempre, less than 1. Pero hindi siya in short, hindi siya non-zero kapag concave yung surface natin. So ito yung mga conditions na kailangan ninyong malaman if you wanted to know the view factor for different orientations. for different objects. Now, here is a problem. Determine the view factors between a plane A sub 1 covered by a hemisphere, which is A sub 2 or surface 2 natin. Yan, kagaya niyan. For example, yan. Ano kaya si um, A sub 2 natin? Is it concave or convex? 'Di ba? So ito yung solve din natin tomorrow after nung mga previous problems natin na hindi na-discuss last week. So ito yung problem yan. Okay. Sige. Let's move on. Now, ito naman, radiation between parallel gray planes naman siya. Since ito naman, itong formula na ito, itong equation na ito, is specific for ano lang siya, for gray planes kung tawagin. So, think of it as yung gray planes natin as other type of body na hindi black body. Kasi ang more on, ano kasi tayo more on pinag-aaralan natin dito is black body. So, ang formula lang naman yan is just simply, or rather, mas halintulad nitong formula na ito. Yung sa kanina ko pinakita sa inyo na net radiation heat transfer. Nga lamang, yung emissivity natin dito, itong malaking parenthesis na ito ay yung in-account na natin yung kumbaga ay yung view factor na meron sa gray planes natin. Ang ibig sabihin nito, Q sub 1, 2, this is just simply the net heat transfer rate from surface 1 to surface 2. A sub 1 is the surface area of surface 1 malamang. T sub 1 is the temperature at surface 1. And T sub 2 is the temperature at surface 2. E sub 1 is the emissivity of surface 1. And E2 or epsilon 2 is the emissivity at surface 2 respectively. Basically, more on magbe-base kayo sa table ninyo ng emissivities ng inyong body. Diyan. So, meron din naman tayong problem dito kung paano masasolve yan. Very easy lang kasi direct substitution lang naman to ng mga data present sa problem. So, radiation between parallel planes. And, nasaan na ba tayo? Okay. So, ito namang sunod na slide na ito. Ayan. Medyo nakakalula na siya. Di ka? Ito naman is, paano natin mahanap si view factor if iba't iba naman yung kanyang orientation. Medyo nakakalula, oo. Nakakalula talaga siya. Meron ito sa Paris. Ituturo ko na lang sa inyo tomorrow kung nasan kay Paris to. But ultimately, yun nga, what if ganyan yung enclosure, yung shape ng enclosure ninyo. Ito kasi yung mga common geometries na meron tayo. Kung gusto nating mahanap yung view factor ng ating mga objects. Now, ito din, guys, is may graphical, tawag siya, may graph, kumbaga. May plot din tayo na sinusunod dito, which is tomorrow ko din naman ituturo sa inyo pagka nag-solve tayo ng problem na ganito yung itsura. So for example, if ang geometry natin is ganito na aligned na parallel rectangles, ibig sabihin, kita nyo yung naka-shade na pink si J at saka si I. Yun yung dalawang surface natin na magkaharapan. So to get the view factor dito, nitong surface na ito, from I to J, ito yung formula na susundin nyo. So, nadyan na din naman kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng X and L and si Y ninyo, si Y bar at saka si X bar ninyo. Kapag ka naman sorry guys. Kapag ka naman parallel discs yung inyong geometry, ito yung formula na gagamitin ninyo. Meron din naman kayo dyan na formulas kung paano nyo makukuha si capital R sub I, capital R sub J, si S kung paano niyo makukuha. So, yun. And then, perpendicular rectangles naman with with a common edge. Pag sinabi natin common edge, magkadais sila dun sa isang edge na iyon, yung surfaces ng ating um, bodies or ng ating object. So, yan yung formula din naman nun. Yan yung formula nun. Medyo mahaba, nga lamang, pero kayang sundan basta alam ninyo yung drawing or kaya niyong i-visualize yung drawing and kaya ninyong i-assign yung mga values na given sa inyo based on its length, yung based on its width and height, etc., etc. Kasi syempre, ultimately, dun lang naman papatak yung um, pagsosolve nyo ng view factor para dito. Ano? So, one problem na meron tayo dyan is itong radiation in black furnace, which is a cubical furnace. So, dito, i-apply natin yung sa view factor dito sa part na to. Yan. Pero bibigyan ko kayo ng mas madaling paraan kung paano malaman si view factor. So, isipin ninyo guys, na si view factor is parang pero hindi sila parehas. Or rather, independent sila from one another. Para siyang si emissivity natin. You will substitute this view factor. For example, you wanted to know the radiative heat transfer from surface 1 to surface 2 and yung view factor ang ating ikino-consider. Papalitan nyo lamang yung part ng emissivity ninyo with the symbol for view factor. So if you wanted to find the radiative heat transfer from surface 1 to surface 2, si Q1 to 2, you will use the view factor from 1 to 2 or F sub 1 to ang gagamitin ninyo. Again, mas ma-appreciate ninyo um, itong sinasabi kong mga view factor na ito kapag nagsosolve na tayo kasi baka nako-confuse kayo dun sa sinasabi ko dito na reciprocity relation, orientation, etc., etc. So, ito lang yung scope ng discussion natin under radiation. So, basically, inintroduce ko sa inyo saan nag-base or paano natin kinantify yung heat transfer. Naka-base tayo kay Planck's law. And then, ano yung simplified version nito, which is the Stefan-Boltzmann law. Tapos, how does the surface properties of our material differ from one another because of its emissivity and absorptivity, and yung relationship between emissivity and absorptivity is governed by Kirchhoff's law of radiation. Na yun nga, ang object natin is, ang goal niya is ma-reach yung temperature na meron yung heat source natin. Kaya nga, ina-assume natin na thermal equilibrium sila. And then, yung net radiation heat transfer natin, since if we wanted to quantify, yun nga yung heat transfer na meron from one surface to another. And then, yung view factors natin, if we are to account the orientation of our, um, surfaces. Kasi nga, different surfaces, or rather, yung angle ng surface natin, yung orientation ng surface natin is, or may effect pagdating sa radiative heat transfer na tinatawag. So, yun lang ang discussion natin for today. Cut ko na to dito. And you can continue doing or completing your dry lab exercise, which will be submitted tomorrow. Once again, paalala lamang po, ang klase natin tomorrow is 9 a.m. Na-move na siya from 7 a.m. So, yun, expect ko na tapos nyo na yung dry lab exercise natin. Yun.